Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
The enduring enigma of sexual reproduction, its persistence amidst apparent inefficiencies, stood as a central conundrum in evolutionary biology. Asexual reproduction, with its straightforward simplicity and rapid proliferation, appears to hold a distinct advantage, yet the vast majority of complex life employs sexual strategies, a paradox that demanded illumination. John Maynard Smith's 1971 publication, The Evolution of Sex, provided a foundational understanding of this complex phenomenon. The work grappled with the twofold cost of sex, the inherent reduction in reproductive rate experienced by sexual populations compared to their asexual counterparts. This core challenge drove Smith's exploration. How could a seemingly disadvantageous strategy, sex, be evolutionary? At least, Smith's approach proved revolutionary. He moved beyond purely descriptive accounts, crafting mathematical models to rigorously analyze the evolutionary advantages and disadvantages inherent in sexual reproduction. This methodological shift, combining evolutionary theory with the precision of mathematical modeling, marked a significant turning point. He explored scenarios where asexual reproduction was common alongside sexual reproduction, detailing the dynamics of how their respective frequencies altered over time. This was not a passive observation, it was a predictive framework, built on the foundation of carefully constructed assumptions. The models allowed researchers to generate testable hypotheses. The shift facilitated a more insightful comprehension of the selective pressures that maintain sexual reproduction. This work provided an analytical framework and fostered a deeper appreciation of the forces shaping the world. The core of Smith's contribution rested on its mathematical models, meticulously constructed to address the complexities of sexual versus asexual strategies. These models, formulated using the tools of population genetics and game theory, illuminated the conditions that favored sex. These models were not simple abstractions, they were precise representations of biological realities, carefully constructed to isolate the factors. One fundamental assumption included random mating, a simplification that allowed for tractable analyses. Another involved an equal reproductive output, at least initially, from both sexual and asexual individuals. These initial hypotheses formed the basis of the analytical framework. The models, expressed mathematically, allowed for the explicit quantification of relative fitness. The core equations tracked the changes in the frequency of sexual and asexual reproduction within a population. The core mathematical structure allowed Smith to predict the conditions under which sex would persist, even thrive. The model incorporated concepts like genetic variation, a crucial ingredient for adaptation to evolving environments. Smith's analyses showed how sexual reproduction, by generating a richer genetic tapestry, could facilitate swifter adaptation to changing conditions. Furthermore, they provided rigorous evidence for the long-term benefits outweighing the short-term costs. The models predicted that in conditions where environments frequently changed or where parasites posed a significant threat, sexual reproduction would be favored. The model's predictions were not merely abstract possibilities, they offered concrete guidance for empirical investigation. The impact of Smith's work extended far beyond the domain of theoretical biology. It provided a rigorous framework for testing hypotheses about the evolution of sex. His findings provided guidelines for empirical research. Subsequent studies, informed by Smith's modeling, sought to empirically validate the predictions. These investigations provided new perspectives. The shift transformed evolutionary biology from a mainly descriptive discipline into a predictive one. This predictive power led to a deeper appreciation of the intricacies of biological systems, from the level of individual genes to the dynamics of entire ecosystems. The rigorous framework provided a means for making testable predictions. The work provided a blueprint for future exploration. The ramifications of the evolution of sex extended further, influencing other fields of study. The modeling techniques developed by Smith became invaluable in epidemiology. The methodology contributed to efforts to understand and control the spread of diseases. The models provided new tools for analyzing the population dynamics of pathogens. The conservation biology community also benefited from Smith's work. It offered new insights into the importance of genetic diversity for the long-term survival of species. The study provided novel perspectives useful for the conservation of genetic resources. The work's influence can be traced across many fields. This demonstrates its lasting power. The work's influence continues to be felt today. The contributions remain relevant. The work's core principles provide guidance for ongoing research. The central argument of John Maynard Smith's The Evolution of Sex, published in 1971, hinges on a series of innovative mathematical models. These models provide a rigorous framework to examine the selective pressures that drive the complex phenomenon of sexual reproduction. The initial models rely on a set of simplifying assumptions. These assumptions permit the creation of tractable mathematical representations. Consider the simplified case of two sexes. Assume random mating. Further, assume each individual produces an equal number of offspring. These assumptions are crucial for the initial formulation. They also allow for isolation of the key factors. These factors contribute to the evolution of sex. Smith's approach employs game theory concepts. He analyzes the evolutionary game. The game involves individuals with different reproductive strategies. The payoffs in this evolutionary game are related to reproductive success. The analysis requires an understanding of the costs and benefits associated with sexual and asexual reproduction. The central equations in the models typically involve representing the changes in allele frequencies. These changes are influenced by the relative fitness of individuals with differing reproductive strategies. Fitness represents the ability of an organism to survive and reproduce in a particular environment. These equations, often based on the replicator dynamics, enable a quantitative assessment of the evolutionary advantages of sex. The models developed by Smith predict conditions favoring sexual reproduction. Primarily, the benefits are found in rapidly changing environments. Sex introduces genetic variation. This variation facilitates faster adaptation. Sexual reproduction combines genes from two parents. This process generates novel combinations. This can lead to offspring better suited to new challenges. The models predict that the advantage of sexual reproduction increases. The rate of environmental change increases. The equations demonstrate this relationship. The cost of sex is also accounted for. This cost is the reduced reproductive rate. The cost arises primarily from the need to find a mate. The models mathematically demonstrate the benefits of sexual reproduction outweigh the costs. This occurs when the environmental challenges are significant or frequent. Examples of the models in action provide concrete insights into these dynamics. Consider a population facing a rapidly evolving parasite. Asexual reproduction creates clones. These clones are all equally vulnerable to the parasite. The introduction of sexual reproduction allows for new defensive strategies. The creation of genetically diverse offspring increases the probability at least some offspring will possess resistance. The predictive power of the models allows for specific investigations. These investigations test hypotheses. The impact is enhanced by the rigorous framework for hypothesis testing. Smith's work provided a means to generate and test empirical predictions. The predictions relate to environmental pressures. They relate to the prevalence of sex. The direct impact of Smith's work was substantial. It shifted evolutionary biology from descriptive to predictive modeling. The models provided new tools for analyzing the evolution of sex. The models were central to the development of a more quantitative approach. The work influenced future research in evolutionary genetics. Subsequent researchers built upon the framework. They refined the equations. They incorporated additional factors. They expanded the scope of inquiry. This work fostered a more comprehensive understanding of sexual reproduction. The contributions include an appreciation of various biological processes. These processes enhance the genetic diversity and adaptability of populations. Smith's work was not without its critiques. Some focused on the simplifying assumptions. They claimed the models did not fully capture the complexities. These critics offered alternative models. These models incorporated additional factors. They included the role of mate choice. They also included the complexities of sexual selection. These critiques, however, served to refine. They did not invalidate Smith's core insights. These critiques improved the models. They spurred further research. They promoted a more nuanced understanding of the evolution of sex. The evolutionary models and methodologies' impact spread to other fields. The quantitative approach became invaluable in epidemiology. The mathematical tools aided understanding the spread of disease. The genetic variation provided by sexual reproduction helped the evolution of pathogens. Researchers in epidemiology also employed Smith's mathematical toolset. They adapted the tools to study how parasites and pathogens evolve. A similar impact occurred within conservation biology. The tools allowed for detailed insights. This was accomplished by providing a deeper understanding of the importance of genetic diversity for survival. In conclusion, the evolution of sex holds a foundational role in evolutionary biology. The study moved away from a description of patterns in nature. The work moved towards developing predictive models. The work provided a quantitative framework. The framework illuminated a complex biological phenomenon. The lasting legacy lies in its ability to explain the prevalence of sexual reproduction. The models continue to inform research. The work provides a clear structure. This structure guides how questions about sexual reproduction are posed and investigated. The enduring power of mathematical modeling remains. This is shown in the capability to provide deep insights into the intricate processes. These processes govern the dynamics of entire ecosystems. The rigorous framework provided a means for making testable predictions. The work provided a blueprint for future exploration.
We really appreciate you tuning into this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.